Hello. If you're watching this, it means that you've enrolled in an online history course at Mountain View College. My name is Dr. Ryan Pettengill, and I'll be your professor for the next several weeks. What I hope to do in this video segment is outline some of the course policies, the requirements, and the expectations. So if you've not yet done so, what I'd like you to do is download a copy of the syllabus. Now you can get a copy by logging into eCampus and clicking on Content. Content is that button on the left-hand side of the screen, and inside you'll find a folder right at the top that's entitled Course Documents. When you open that up, you'll find a copy of the syllabus inside. So put me on pause and go ahead and do that if you've not done so already. Communication is going to be key in an online class, and the best way that you have to communicate with me is through email. You see the address at the top of the syllabus there. I check that address regularly, and generally speaking, if you can get me a message before about 3 o'clock Monday through Friday, generally speaking I'll be able to reply to you on the same day. It's a little slower in the weekend and slower still in the evenings, but generally speaking I like to try to respond to each email by usually within a 24-hour period. So that's the best way to contact me. You could call me if you want to. You see the phone number there in the syllabus. I can't guarantee you that I'll call, but if you leave me a voicemail, I promise that I'll either return your call or I'll respond via email. If you want to meet face-to-face with me, my office is located on the Mountain View College campus in Dallas, and I'm office number W as in West, W243. However, if you do choose to meet with me face-to-face, please understand that I need you to pre-arrange a time for us to meet. Send me a message, shoot me an email, something to let me know that this is going to be the time that's going to work for you and confirm it with me. Now, this course, History 1301, this course is the first half of the American Survey. And so what that means is we begin our discussion before European context, so the pre-1492 era, and we go all the way through 1877, which most historians will point to as the beginning of modern American history. At any rate, what we'll be talking about thematically and in terms of events and issues is going to be very varied, and it's also going to be very open-ended and broad. But we are going to take a very broad approach when it comes to the examination of American history. Now what I'd like to do is discuss the book reading list with you. There's only really one book that you need to buy, and it's not even really a book as much as it is an e-reader. It's an electronic book. It's entitled The American Journey. You want Volume 1. I know that there is a combined volume that will work as well, but I believe that Volume 1 is a little bit cheaper. Anyway, it's written by a guy named David Goldfield, and it's entitled The American Journey. Now, the best place to buy this ebook is at the Mountain View College bookstore, and it's not as if I'm trying to plug them or give them some business or anything, but they know me, we talk regularly, and they know exactly what I require when it comes to my online courses. So if you go to the Mountain View College bookstore, they will know exactly what you need. Just for a frame of reference, it should be selling from anywhere between $35 and $50, just so you have that in your back pocket right before you go in. Now, the other books that you will be reading from me in this semester, you already have, even if you didn't buy them. I've uploaded copies of Frederick Douglass and Sam Patch, the famous jumper. To find them, just log into eCampus and click on Content, and then open up the folder entitled Online Texts. In Online Text, you'll find a copy of both books, Douglass as well as the Johnson text. So you can get reading Frederick Douglass as soon as possible, and I would highly encourage you that you do that. The last thing that I need you to do when it comes to these sorts of materials is go to the Mountain View College library. At the library, you need to check out a DVD series that's entitled Shaping America. Now, if you go to the librarian at the circulation desk and you tell him or her that you're enrolled in my class and it's History 1301, they'll know exactly what you're talking about, and they'll give you the DVD series that I'm referring to, Shaping America. Now, if you're not on campus or you don't want to come in and check out that series, what you can do is you can watch these online. To view them online, just open up the Shaping America Videos folder in Content, and inside you're going to find a link that will take you to these various lessons. And what I mean by the term lesson will make a lot more sense in just a few minutes here. Alright, so that's the course materials that we're going to be working with over the course of the semester. Now what I'd like you to do is to scroll down to the middle of page 3. You'll note that I'm leaving a lot of the reading of the syllabus up to you, so please be thorough with your reading of it and don't hesitate to let me know if you have a question. In the middle of page 3, what you're going to find is the course outline, and I want to take you through a typical week in our class. Every week is broken down topically, so you'll know what we'll be discussing and what will be the themes and issues that we'll be examining on a week-by-week basis. But more importantly, you'll also be understanding what you are responsible for when it comes to the workload. For instance, in week 1, you are to complete the reading of the first few chapters of the Goldfield text. You're also to complete the readings that are entitled Online Documents or Online Readings. Now, where you find these documents, online readings, you'll find them in eCampus in a folder entitled Online Readings. And every online reading for the semester has already been uploaded and is waiting for you to examine it. So it's all ready for you to go. So what you should do when you have an opportunity is download the online readings that are specified in the syllabus in any given week. They're all ready for you. All you need to do is access them. You should also start reading Frederick Douglass this week. Now, in addition to the reading, I need you to view several videos of Shaping America. For instance, this week you are responsible, among other things, of viewing lesson number 1. So what you'll do, if you have the DVD, just pop that disc in, and at the main menu, you'll select lesson 1. Watch it in its entirety. It's approximately a half hour long. With the URL, all you need to do is click it, and then it'll give you sort of like a main menu. Just click lesson number 1, and it'll take you right to where you need to be. Watch it in its entirety, and you're all set. Now, in week 1, you also need to complete one, perhaps more, discussion forums. But what these discussion forums are will be explained a little bit later here in this video. But for the time being, understand that they're generally due at the end of the week. So that is your responsibility to log into eCampus, click on Discussions, which is underneath Content, and complete that question before the end of the week. You also have a quiz, perhaps 2 quizzes, due this week. So what you're going to do to access quiz 1, for instance, you're going to log in, you're going to open up the week 1 folder, and inside every week's folder, you'll see an assignment folder. Inside the assignment folder of week 1 is quiz 1. Complete quiz 1 online and upload your response. Now, generally, what you'll see here is you'll have some of these assignments, either a quiz or a discussion forum, a paper, something of that sort, that are due every week, which is why it's so important to keep tabs to keep up with the course outline. Of course, if this doesn't make any sense, please don't hesitate to let me know. What I'd like to do now is explain how you get the grade that you end up with in this class. So scroll to the middle of page 4. The best thing that you can do when it comes to maximizing points is participate in the discussion forums. Now, the discussion forums are essentially an open-ended question that I would ask the class collectively if we were to meet face-to-face. But because we're not meeting face-to-face, this is going to have to be done electronically. Now, this question is very open-ended, and it's done so for a purpose. What I need you to do is to throw your 2 cents into the pot. Now, the way that you do this is you read the documents that the forum asks you to read those documents and use them to help you answer the question, but please engage the thoughts and the opinions of your fellow classmates as you're going along. It's literally a conversation that we would have if this was a lecture-style class, but we're having it online. Now, the next best thing that you can do when it comes to maximizing points is complete the quizzes. Now, these quizzes are open-booked and they're not timed, so they're not exactly heavy lifting when it comes to workload. What the quiz will do is it'll give you a question, and it'll tell you to use a specific document, usually in the online readings, to answer that question. And generally speaking, if I see that the student has clearly read the material that I asked them to read, and they put a little bit of effort into answering the question, usually I'll award full credit for those quizzes. Now, speaking of credit, these quizzes are worth 3 points per quiz, and you'll see 5 of them over the course of the semester for a grand total of 15 points, or 15% of your cumulative grade. So if you're doing the math with me, 30% of your cumulative grade is not timed, meaning that it's not like time's going to expire and it kicks you out of the system, and it's also open booked. So as I pointed out before, this is the two easiest things, I guess I should say, that you can do when it comes to getting a really good grade in this class. Now, it's going to get progressively more difficult, and the papers are significantly more difficult than the quizzes or the forums. You're going to see 2 of these papers, and each paper is going to be based off of the books that we were talking about earlier here. The first one will be based off of Frederick Douglass, and the next one will be based off of Sam Patch. So that's why I highly encourage each of you to really get started reading the Douglass text, because it's going to be worth essentially 10% of your cumulative grade. So, these are going to be 2 to 3 pages in length, and everything that you write for me will be double-spaced. And if you want to know what the question is, and what the guidelines and what the formatting should look like, you can have access to them right now. I've already uploaded the guidelines in eCampus, but I will be much more specific as the due date of the paper approaches. So 2 papers, each worth 10% of your cumulative grade. Together they're worth 20% of your overall grade. There is 1 midterm and 1 final exam in this course. Each exam will consist of a combination of multiple choice questions, short answer essay questions, and 1 long essay question. And just like the papers, I have uploaded review guides that will let you know exactly what you're responsible for and tell you how and why or what you should review in preparation for the exam. Each of these exams are worth 25% of your cumulative grade for a grand total of 50%. You see the grading scale right there in the middle of page 5? Generally speaking, I don't grade on a curve. It's pretty much black and white, and what you get at the end of the semester is what you end up with. Now, the last thing that I wanted to reference before we go to break here is the withdrawal policy. There is a withdrawal policy in this class, and you should refer to the bottom of page 5 to see that specific date. But you should also understand that there are consequences when it comes to dropping a class. I'm going to allow you to read through those on your own, but please make sure that you're familiar with these policies before you go ahead and drop. That's all I really have in the way of the syllabus. Obviously, as you can see, there's more to it, and you should familiarize yourself with it when you have an opportunity. But for the time being, what I would recommend that you do is really get started reading the Frederick Douglass text. As I'd mentioned, it's going to be worth a significant portion of your cumulative grade. That's all for now. I'm looking forward to a very productive semester with each of you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And I hope you enjoy reading the Douglass text. Thank you, and I'll see you later.